Welcome back, everybody, to the wonderful wide world of Pokemon. It's the first time in a long time. I feel like we're back for the first time. That's so long that we've done this. I'm, of course, Meals. I am here with the GOAT Pafif himself.
Hello.
We're back, man. It's been a while.
It's been a year and more. Year and a
almost
half.
2 years. We're like
Almost.
closer to 2 years. Like, we literally have not put out an episode since Pokemon probably released their last game. Like,
I mean, we're here to talk about what I'm sure is in the title of the episode, but yes. I will be taking us on a brief detour to talk about some emulation I've been doing on the old iPhone.
Okay. All right. I forgot that this all happened. All right. Well, we're going to get to it. We are also joined. You may know him. He is the voice of the Lookout. It's LJ. He's here too. LJ, Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
Going to help us break down these leaks. What is up?
Nothing much. I'm excited to be here. This is a little like, obviously I'm a Pokemon fan, but this is, you guys are like Pokemon fans, like with a capital F.
Well, all right. So a number of years ago, we had this whole discussion about is like, no, I know Pokemon for sure and stuff like that, and your expertise and all this other stuff. So we're gonna put it to the test.
No, don't do that. Why are you doing that to me? I don't want to do that.
But you,
I don't want to
watch it. You play it. You so-called play it. How was the last game for you?
Kaya probably played it more than me. It was fun watching her play. I kind of coaching her through it.
Sure, of course.
Just for reference, I mean, Kaya is a child.
Yes, Kaya is a child.
Which I think has been, not that I'm not glad she enjoyed herself, but I think has been one of the major recurring complaints if you've ever listened to a single second of one of these episodes.
Oh my god. So, shout out to everyone for tuning in. We hope that we'd made this happen, because when we heard about all the leaks on the Lookout, we were like, you know what? We gotta find Pat. We're gonna bring LJ along for the ride too. But we found
I sent out the Pat signal.
That was so funny. The timing of it was so funny.
We have not put out an episode since January 3rd, 2023. So I don't want to even say so much has happened, because realistically it hasn't. I guess 2 DLCs for Scarlet and Violet came out that I have not finished. I purchased it because I'm a fucking...
You're a psychopath. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm just...
Meals the weeb.
Yeah, I have no compass when it comes to Pokemon. It's just like, oh, it's something new? Let me try it out. Let me play it. Let me buy it. Let me do it. Like, the next game I'm going to buy too. It is what it is.
I was in jail for January 6th, so I missed these updates.
Oh. Really?
I was at the Capitol riot, and I didn't bring my Switch with me to jail.
This was... I'm not even going to say anything, Pat. But yes, they came out. I'm not even sure if I know what happened. Besides, like, more weird shit happening. More, like, the giant giraffe Raikou. The other fucking metallic or beast Pokemon, whatever it is, Beast Wars or Transformers, whichever one you prefer. So that happened. Earlier this year, Pokemon Legend ZA, which is funny for like 2 weeks, was announced.
I mean, also, other than like why it's like hilarious, it sucks shit as a title.
Yeah, well, it's ZA. It's technically ZA.
Nah, we call it ZA. The mama named it ZA, so I'm calling it ZA.
But it's ZA. It's the Legends Arceus follow-up, but also is going to take place during the X and Y series. So it's going to be in Kalos, more specifically Lumio City. So you have that to look forward to. But we have got no new information by their own will about this game. We have not been giving any information by them since literally Pokemon Day 2024, which is in February earlier. So it's coming out 2025. I'm assuming we'll get more news as it comes up. I like the first Pokemon Legends Arceus, so I'm hoping I'm going to like this. But I like these leaks way more than probably any game that has come out over the last like 5 years. So,
bro, the peanut?
The peanut Pokemon. Listen, everything
is so badass.
But Pat, last time we talked, you were playing a Pokemon emulator game.
Yes. Okay.
And you were hype about this. So please,
I still am. I haven't played it as much as I have wanted to since as much as I was since I was telling you about it. I've not beat it.
Playing Pokemon, old Pokemon games are like great for like the first 5 badges, and then you're like, I guess
man, dude.
So
playing Fire Red, I'm like, I got bored. It was really fun for like a good 3 hours.
Yeah, it's fun for like, oh my god, yes, nostalgia. Yeah. And then it wears off, and you're like, this is kind of a lot of work.
A few months ago, somebody turned me on to I'm sure you guys have heard of this emulator called Delta for the phone.
Yep, it's the best one.
Yeah, so that was sick. And then I downloaded Pokemon Ultraviolet for that, which was basically a red port that like added cooler shit to it. You could start with I don't even remember. You could do like cool like random shit, but it was still mostly just like a port of red. And I probably played that through like 3 batches, and I was like, oh, okay, that was fun, but whatever. Like,
right,
I've played this. But then a couple weeks later, somebody sent me a link to a game called Pokemon Unbound. And it is it's on the same, I don't know, this obviously isn't what it's called, but it's on the same Unreal Engine that Fire Red uses. And it is a completely fan-made game. The starters are like Larvitar and the Metagross, his first guy, and one other one. And the trainers scale with you for the most part. And
this is dope.
You can find. I mean, I found myself in a couple gym fights that were as hard as like FromSoft games, because of like the team that I'd gotten, and I did not turn the level cap off. You can go into the settings and turn like regular experience share, capped experience share on, and it defaults to capped experience share, which is good for the most part. But then if you turn that off and you start getting a little more, you're too high level, then you're like, on the 4th gym with level 50 Pokemon, and the gym leader also has those, and they actually do the stuff that they're supposed to do if you have it on, like, I have it on the expert mode, and it's extremely fucking hard. The Pokemon encounters are like, there's awesome sets of them all. I can't wait to get into new areas to see who they have in the areas. The towns are totally like, some of them have echoes of other towns in the games, but that happens in the real games too. But it is perhaps the best Pokemon game I've ever played. I mean, obviously not like, it isn't as good as like Red and Blue and Gold and Silver were when we were kids, but in the sense of like, oh, this is the same feeling, but it's actually hard as an adult. It's incredible.
A challenging game. Who would have
Who? Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck would have thought?
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they tried it once they did it with Black and White, and I think maybe Black and White 2, where the games actually had, like, you could say harder, or easy, or medium, or whatever the hell it was. And I'm not sure how that turned out, because I never actually tested any of those settings. I mean, I guess I could now, but I
don't remember doing that at all.
Yeah, I don't even think my DS will fucking turn on anymore. But, it's listen, I love this. I love that game. I love that you had this great experience, because also when we were having on this break, another game came out called Pal World.
Yes, which I mean,
shout out Pal World.
We covered Pal World like like when those original leaks came out. Like, I mean, so did everyone, but like I just mean it was a long time ago that happened.
Well, it came out, got super popular, and then literally I feel like there's definitely got to be a link to this. Like 2 weeks ago it was announced. Well, not 2 weeks ago. A month ago it was announced that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company filed a lawsuit against, Pocket Pair for the infringement of patent rights.
How could the most litigious company in entertainment do something like this?
I'm just saying, there may not be a coincidence between them filing this lawsuit and then suddenly 1 terabyte of information.
Yeah. Yeah.
about this game coming out of nowhere. This was honestly, oh my god. Well, listen, there's so much things that have happened since we've been time off. It's great to talk to you guys. LJ, I talk to you all the time, but it's great to talk to you, Pat, as well. But this might have been the greatest. I'm trying to figure out what leak in just like cultural history, maybe WikiLeaks. Like even that I wasn't as entertained by that as this. Like the Carter 3? I don't know. Like Lupe Fiasco's first album? Like this is one of the most substantial leaks.
I think it's because it's just so much information. And it's just so much shit where you're just like you see what could have hit the world and didn't.
Right. Essentially.
You know?
But
yeah, I honestly, I feel like I read a lot of it, but I feel like I'm still going to learn new information on talking to you guys because I could not get through all of it, and a lot of it I was like,
well, more
like,
information.
Some of this is like, some of this looks like code and shit. I'm not reading this.
Yeah, no. Some of the information is literally still coming out as we speak about the game. Like they just got to the Pokemon Legend Arceus leaks version of this, so they're still like pining through this 1 terabyte thing almost a week later.
Shout out to the storyboard where fucking Scraggy gets hit by a goddamn meteor.
Well, I think that's for the game. Well, I don't know. It might be for the game.
Yeah, the story of Ages. Yeah, it's a storyboard, and they just have this beautiful picture of Scraggy sitting hopelessly in the middle of nowhere.
This got to be a fake.
It's on the Central Leaks.
Well, it is what it is.
It's great.
But there's been so many leaks. I'm trying to I tried to compile it as best as I can so we can talk about all of this other stuff. But there's so much things coming out. So it started I think last Sunday or Monday or something along those lines, and it's still going on today. But one of the more important early leaks was like for Gen 10, which is codenamed Gaia. And people are saying that this Gen 10 Pokemon game, which they're working on now, which as they should be, because there's literally no Pokemon. Pokemon has released a game almost every single year for like maybe like the last decade or so. And this is the first year they're officially taking off, except like the trading card game app that I'm probably going to buy. But yeah, see, I just do whatever they tell me. But codename Gaia, people are saying it's inspired by Greece because one of the leaks said there's a whole lot of fucking water. And yeah, it may be on whatever the Switch 2 is, whatever that the fuck is.
When is that supposed to come out?
That's a good fucking question. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think.
You gotta call AD. He usually knows these things.
You know what? That's a good. Let's ask him. Could you ask him for us?
Yeah. Want me to call him?
Yeah. Let's ask him. But no, Switch 2. I don't even know. I'm gonna keep a buck with you. Outside of like maybe like 4K or like Bluetooth or whatever the fuck they did, like simple things they could have added in the last one. I don't know what they could add to Switch 2 for me to be like, I gotta get the Switch 2.
Well, okay. I mean, other than me being fucking 35, I still haven't beat goddamn Tears of the Kingdom. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I still haven't beat that
Breath
game.
of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
I did beat Breath of the Wild, but then I think I've talked about this I probably talked about this the last time I was on this podcast. That I actually loved Tears of the Kingdom a lot more than Breath of the Wild. I mean, Breath of the Wild was a great game, but it was like such a like, oh, this is like most people playing this are for the first time being introduced to stuff that is already present in like kind of better games. But for a lot of people, this is the first time they're playing like a AAA blockbuster game with some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we definitely talked about this because then they dumbed that down for the Pokemon games on the Switch, I would say. But anyway, what do they really need to do? Like, it's almost like, or can they do? Because the Switch, I mean, has been kind of a runaway success
Yeah.
uh, Nintendo has done something that I think is pretty difficult, wherein they have established themselves as like, oh, you don't like, you're not like, you either have for most people, you either have a PlayStation or an Xbox,
Yeah.
but then you also would have like, you don't have one of the three. You have a
Yeah.
Switch in addition to uh you know
The other two
yeah,
generation
exactly.
consoles. Yeah.
and
No.
it kind of required the Wii coming out and not failing. Like, people know what the Wii is. They, everybody knows Wii bowling and Wii
Yay!
but but like the Wii, then the Wii U, like, I would say those are the most forgotten days of Nintendo.
Those are like the
success.
whatever the weird shit before Atari probably was, like Game Station. Or
Yeah,
what the fuck
yeah.
it was. Like, that's that to the Switch.
Like, I have, the having played GameCube in its heyday, the next thing I remember playing the most is the Switch.
Yeah. Same.
So that being said, what can they do to, like, improve their already unique standing? Like, they don't really have. They do their own thing. How are they going to make it that much better? Like, they're going to. I guess the next Switch is going to be able to play games that almost look like PS5, PS4, PS5 games. Because, I mean, one of the best things about the Switch is that nobody cared it didn't really look any better than the Wii. Like, it does look better, of course.
No,
but,
it does.
It's not. That's not the selling point.
So AD just hit me back.
Okay.
So
what did he say?
He said, "My God, this guy's smart." So he was
no, of course. This is bad.
Yeah, I know. He's deep in it right now too. I thought it was only going to be these 2 text messages. Now he just sent me like 4 long ones. He said,
four long messages. Dots incoming.
Yeah, he's just going crazy right now. So allegedly, it is. He said, I have proposed specs and speculations on games. There is going to be a system release in May, sometime around Golden Week in Japan. Same month as Super Nintendo World opening in Orlando. The first game is probably going to be a new Mario Kart game. 8-player split screen.
This is May 25.
This is way more thorough than I fucking. I just was expecting a date.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now I'm like, all right. So we have to sit back here and analyze this console rollout a little bit.
He said alleged specs. The handheld mode is going to be, like, graphics wise, is going to be right above a PS4, but docked is going to be around a PS4 Pro. He said the RAM is going to run slower.
Thank God! Thank you, Nintendo, sir.
It's going to run a little slower than a PS5, but it's going to still be the highest capacity. Magnetic Joy-Cons. That's kind of cool. 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes internal storage, and you'll have 2 USB-C ports.
I love how you read off the like technical data, and my brain just has no idea what it means until you say two USB-C ports.
I don't even know what I said.
I understand like RAM and temporary storage now so much less than I did when I was 13.
Oh yeah. SSD, solid state storage and shit. Yeah, no, solid state drives. It's a.
I when I was on Napster and Kazaa, I knew all that shit.
They just like, one thing the Switch said was just get an external, just get a little mini micro USB and you'll be good.
That's another thing that like proves how successful it is. They got people to do that.
Yeah, no, this is the Switch. I can't see how much. Beyond the pandemic really raising the stock of the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everything like that. Like, I can't see... There's a Switch damn near in every at least gamer home. And one of the, like, random things... I know we're supposed to be talking about Pokemon. It just looks good. Like, you could just have it sitting there and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's just there docked. And it's like
they're still... Again, because so many of my friends are my age and don't or never have played video games, people don't even realize that it's, especially people without kids or who aren't around kids don't even realize like it's portable or whatever. You're like, no, it's called like the Switch. It's not it switches. That's why it's
Yeah,
called that. And like
yeah.
even that is still pretty fucking good.
No,
Like they actually rolled out like a console that you can play portably.
Yeah.
Like that's still again, that's the best part. Nobody cares about the technical. Like, I want the Hollow Knight sequel to come out. I don't care about a
yeah.
new console.
Hey, I
No,
just
that's
started playing Hollow Knight too, and it's such a game to just blow the time.
Bro,
It's
it's
so fun.
incredible.
It's
and
so
the
great.
design is so amazing.
It is.
that's amazing. So kind of like circling back to the Pokemon vein, Gen 10, Megas are coming back. There's Mega Zygarde that's been rumored. There's Mega Zerora, something along those lines. I forgot what that Pokemon Zerora.
Oh yeah, I remember that motherfucker.
Yeah, so those are the two like megas that are like kind of like figured out for this game thus far. Speaking of megas, one mega was cut from the original Pokemon X and Y. They scanned through the code, is literally the only mega that has been cut. Mega Jinx. Jinx was
Thank
supposed to get a
you.
mega.
That's good. You know what? It would be funny if Mega Jinx they did like a Michael Jackson thing and like whitewashed Jinx when it had its mega form. That would actually be worth it. But otherwise, I don't understand how Jinx is still. Get rid of this motherfucker.
Yeah, Jinx is still in the game. Was supposed to get a mega version. It is literally the only. I don't know if someone from these leaks. What I've realized is there's a lot of like quality control with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it. And for the mere fact that so much of this has lived, so much of it has not gone out, and so much of this has never reached the final light of day. And honestly, the Pokemon games are probably better for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because who knows what Mega Jinx could have looked like, knowing what Jinx looks like, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Like,
would have.
Even some of the drawings for like Mega Blastoise and Venusaur and Charizard, like I mean they are badass, but they look like Pokegods you'd find on forums in the 90s.
they look like people who were brought onto this game to do some like freelancer, like, yo, I know this artist, he creates, things, and he just drew some shit up and it's like, what the fuck is that? Like the from the original level, from the beta level that we've seen all these Pokemon that have leaked, and there's a lot of beta level Pokemon that have leaked, and very few that we've seen look similar to what they end up looking like. A lot of them get like sexified, like, or like toned up, you know what I'm saying? Or the eyes change, or just a complete overhaul just in general. But they make sure that when you reach the final product, it is consumable, marketable.
Marketable.
For sure.
Marketable.
Yeah, and completely original. And it
Sorry for
falls
saying that
within-
in the Alex Jones voice. Justin's going to hear that and text me about it.
and then you'll be able to, like, if it can't look like an adorable plushie, it is not becoming a Pokemon. That's
or strangely, and I mean, we're going to get closer to this than somehow ever before later on, I'm sure. But either like a cute plushie or bizarrely human.
Yeah, one of those things.
They need to just start going full Digimon with their evolutions. Just throw in something that doesn't even make sense.
Something that they've always been like dancing with that I think could be cool. Mm-hmm. Here's what I think could be cool 45 years into this very successful franchise. It like more stuff like there's always stuff like, oh, this motherfucker is this when it rains, but he looks like this when it's sunny.
Yeah.
And but all that stuff, like, that stuff's never really been it for me. But then you have stuff like, you give Scyther the metal coat and then he evolves with it on. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but like, what's the version where you give something I referenced on this podcast a million times? You give Pikachu a surfboard and he evolves into like a specific type of Pikachu, or like he has a completely different moveset while he's holding this surfboard, or some other Pokemon has a version of the Mewtwo armor from the movie. Like, where is stuff like this?
Right. It's there's so much stuff they tease, at least. So one of the things in Gen 3 that I also mentioned in terms of new evolution things, the original Pokemon Gen 3 proposal by Junichi Masuda, December 22nd, 2000, which
This is Ruby Sapphire?
yeah. So they hint at potential merging of Pokemon as well, in this, which is something that I always thought was somehow the gradual next step, but then also you're kind of like playing a very weird game with animals.
Yeah,
Are we doing?
yeah, you're like,
crossbreeding?
yeah, like where does this DNA splicing?
Yeah.
If we're gonna get
It
A
ends
little
up
bit,
getting
of a
picked up.
horror show.
this is how we
Yeah,
this is how we end up with like teacup poodles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something along those lines. Like it's a that's funny.
I want to breed some breathing problems into my Pokemon.
yeah, you know, like this is how you know, like pugs and other things that don't look.
Shout out to those dogs. I just don't need to do it in my video game.
Yeah, no.
Another thing that was leaked was the character profiles for a lot of the Gen 5 people, which ended up being surprising, and it really put the freaking Game Freak. Because it was revealed all these character profiles that they originally wanted. Like, for instance, they had the aerial trainer Skyla, and her profile is gender female, age 18 years old, ethnic group Hispanic, and then it says
Okay. I'm sure we're not about to get into weird territory so far.
casual clothing such as hot pants and tech top, more exposure.
Okay.
Let's see. Appearance, certain tall, certain weight, brown skin, is slim, but only the chest is large.
All right.
They're describing Shakira.
Dark eyes. Well, the people that they have in their appearance image thing is Isabella Fontana and Jennifer Lopez is what they wanted.
Okay.
Skyla looks completely derpy. Skyla is not even close to whatever that.
That's so funny.
Who would have thought that, you know, our brothers out in Japan like them a little Latina spice?
Well, it doesn't
That's
stop
like
there.
that's like posting a picture of a gun and being like, I want Shuckle to look like this.
They did one for the Pokemon Black and White, the second gym leader, Lenora, commonly known as Big Mama, is what they have in the character profile.
She doesn't look like Mulatto. I don't want it.
No, her age is supposed to be 35 years old, half African, half British.
It's so funny sitting over in Japan and inventing hot girlfriends from around the world.
Height 160 centimeters, waist about 54 kilograms. Her chest is average.
Okay.
Her waist is slender, and her lower body buttocks is voluminous. Easy delivery style, loose natural perm. Her personal appearance images. Her images.
Loose natural perm is crazy.
That should be the name of this episode.
Loose natural perm.
Her images, or what she's supposed to look like, is Pam Grier and Beyonce.
Okay.
She does not.
I mean,
look like
wait.
Pam
I thought
Grier
she
nor
was
Beyonce.
I thought she was half English. I mean, I guess I know there's black people in England, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Beyonce and Pam Grier. Like those are both American people, very American people.
Well, that's what's hot to them.
Yeah,
Mind
yeah.
you look at Lenora. Lenora looks nothing like that by the time they reach the end product. Lenora definitely looks like just literally a housemaker or something along those lines. With an afro.
I like the idea that if you turn the difficulty up, they think you're older, so like the gym leaders get hotter.
That would be wild. It's just like age appropriate game.
Yeah.
And then they had another one for Burr, who is I think the bug type bug type gym leader of thing 5. 21 years old, artist, Italian, eccentric. Apparently his images are Vincent Gallo and Johnny Depp. Mind you. Well, they do it for guys too.
Okay,
They're
sorry,
like,
wait,
what's the
but there's
hottest guy out?
there's no size like there. We don't get a bulge size. We don't get where his hairline is.
No.
We need these same physical details.
Massive chest. No. They do a lot other ones. They did for instance the Drayden, who is the dragon type gym leader for Gen 5. He's supposed to look like a mixture between Hulk Hogan and Karagon Arthur Shopiana. The other Iris, they don't have Iris.
They didn't even try
yet.
with his name though. Dragon, the dragon leader.
Yeah, they just changed one. That's like when that book was called Aragon, and he just changed the D to an E.
It's one of those. It's definitely those, but
I don't like that. How you put so much thought into Beyonce and Pam Grier?
You know exactly. Well, listen, we watch anime every week. You know exactly.
Yeah, I think Jamal. Let me tell you about a show called Kill la Kill.
Let's see what we also got. So one of the other fascinating things we got was the meeting minutes for when the Pokemon Company decided that Ash's story in the anime needed to end. And
sorry, I didn't see this at all. The fact that like this exists is so funny.
That's what I'm saying. This is so great and funny and hilarious. Like literally the meeting minutes going through it. There's a whole thing of like why we should end. Let me see if the document is still up. Oh, there still is. They have not. Google Docs is not on it.
Google Docs is sneaky, like has stuff up for a long time.
Yeah, no. But there was so much like taken into account. It was like we cannot use graduation. We've decided to use Ash Journey, but we can't make it seem like we were just pushing him away. Blah 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 blah. We think it's time to continue the series in a new direction, but we don't want people to necessarily feel like we're just cutting off Ash out of nowhere, which is why they created that like epilogue series, the additional 12 episodes to like really send him off. There was a lot of thought put into this. I read a couple lines of it. There was so much thought put into thought and like as his actual character, like, and for the fans, like we don't want to turn the fans off from Pokemon in general by completely just ending Ash out of nowhere. So there was so much.
He did win eventually. That was good.
He did win. He won. He got a 12. He met up with Brock and Misty again. They had like a 10 episode arc of adventures. He used various Pokemon, and then the series ended for him. And then Horizons is still going on, and they have some news for Horizons, but no one watches Horizons.
Is that on Netflix?
It is on Netflix.
Yeah.
But they hadn't it was supposed to be launched alongside Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I think the first 10 episodes, someone didn't like them because they focus more on the male character than the girl character. The girl character is actually the protagonist. They didn't really like it, so they had to redo the first 12 episodes. So that's why it was pushed way far back from when the game actually came out. So
yeah, I remember we talked about this, and then the episodes just didn't happen.
Yeah, so there's supposed to be a time skip is like the big like aha in the game, like a 2-year time skip in Pokemon. So that never happened with Ash. It was just one continuous.
Yeah,
is he 10?
He actually appeared to get younger as the show went on.
Another major rumor that was eventually uncovered in the Gen 3 part of this game is that there was a Southern Kalos region. And the reason why this was such a big deal is one, because X and Y seemed to kind of like end just very, very quickly without an additional region added to it. But then also people rumored this for a long time because it's supposed to be France and they completely cut out the south of France.
The south of France.
Which, you know, I've never been to France, so I'm not going to speak on France. But from the things that I have seen and know that go on, the south of France seems so much better than the northern part of France. You have Niche down there. You got the water.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I've only
'Cause
been. I mean, I was in Paris for 3 days when I was 17.
you were in France then. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You were
but I
quiet.
was, but it was not the south of France, and I was
Oh,
17. So I was
this is
like,
true.
Yeah,
I was trying
like
to
you hear
you
stories
know,
and people are always like, "No, you vacation in the south of France." Like south of France is, I feel,
yeah. I'm like, shit. Maybe if you're French, I just am trying to get over to France in general.
you
Right,
know,
but this was supposed to be like um the south of France. Eventually is supposed to connect to what people have done with the map is it connects to the Paldea region actually, which is the region that just came out.
Hmm.
Um so the Crown Tundra, Isle of Armor, Galar, Kalos region, and Paldea are all connected, which is
I
like the
like
last.
that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's a because they're all European, of course. And then I'm assuming whatever the Gaia thing is will be not too far off from there because
Hmm.
Greece is not far away. But Southern Kalos definitely introduced in the game, and they took it out for whatever reason. Not sure. Um, Also, Gen 3, the water starter, no mudkip. Did you see the bunny? The bunny with the inner
Yes, I
tube?
saw him. I loved him. I loved the inner tube. I thought it was great.
I did see the
They
bunny also. Did they take the picture down?
they did take the picture
Yeah,
down,
okay. I
but there's so
remember seeing it. I
many.
remember because I think you actually reposted it. So I did see it when
Yeah,
you reposted it.
there's so many fan art now that you know what the hell it looks like because people are in love with this bunny. Um, it is called. I mean, people have
Anime
called it Wallabit, Wallabit,
Wallabit?
Warabit, Wallaby. One of them. Um,
Wallabit.
People are listen. It was weird. It was kind of low key insulting to see. Here are the here are the three beta starters for the game, and you see Torchic with the two shits in his head, and you see Trico who just doesn't look as cool, and then you
Yeah.
see a completely third other person. It's
Yeah, who
like
is this motherfucker? And also, they never
right.
used him.
No, well, no. They did get
Oh,
rabbits in the starter
what's his
things.
name? Yeah,
Score
yeah,
Bunny, yeah.
yeah, Score Bunny.
So they eventually got there, but it definitely wasn't a water, and it definitely didn't look this adorable.
He didn't have
Actually,
the
I don't
inner
know.
tube. Give him
He
his
didn't have the
tube.
inner tube. Yeah, give him his tube. Um, let's talk about weird stuff. This Typhlosion thing.
Oh, was there any? Yeah.
Oh my god. So
uh
Pokemon
Look, okay, before we
has
start, I'm just mad that this became the biggest thing. I'm just gonna say that.
well,
As a person who used Typhlosion a lot,
yeah.
you know.
But here's my thing. Here's how I feel ways about it. Pokemon likes to do these things. They used to do it a lot more often with when they were in essentially all the regions were in Japan. They do all the like all the folklores and they would
Yes,
turn
they
them into
love
Pokemon
myths.
and
They love
yeah,
them.
yeah. So they would
Even
do all of
like
that.
Quagsire is like kind of looks like a Kappa, I think it's called.
Yeah, or
About
Golduck, I think.
yeah, totally.
So there's so much like lore and mythical shit that has happened in there that's based off of like Japanese mythology and stuff like that. Or Chinese mythology or whatever the hell it is. But the Typhlosion part, I think they attempted it, but the weird thing is this is completely made up. So it's not like it's like something borrowed, but it's like literally someone sat there at a computer and just like, yeah, and I'm gonna I'm gonna put this in this, and I'm gonna put that in this. It says essentially Pokemon having relationship with young girls in the game, giving birth to a monster and human child. A lot of things that people go look it up itself. I'm not going to read all of this, but it just created a very strange day for Typhlosion. We're just like
They got your man's on sex assault charges.
yeah.
It's a strange situation. It's
it
why
makes you look at
maybe
Pokemon weirdly.
You know what? I'm just gonna.
Which is why this type of stuff never
Don't-
comes out.
So like in the original, there's a reason that the Disney version of Cinderella doesn't stick with the ending where the stepmother is rolled down a hill in a barrel full of old nails.
Right.
You sometimes just gotta take
That
a step
sounds
back,
like
and
a Wu-Tang threat.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, but like this, that's an old story, and this legend, this folklore thing that they were going off of, very, very old story. No need.
No need.
Yeah, no
No
need.
need at all. But guess what?
I know
There
that
was no need for it. It didn't come
games.
out.
I know that the games are highly based on the manga, and even in the manga, like there's some Pokemon on human violence. Rayquaza blasts as a child.
No, but even in the games, they have like strange Pokédecking entries. Pat and I have talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially in some of the older games.
Yeah.
Like stuff that just straight up references, before they quite, and everything does this. Every franchise in every, movies, film, TV, movies and film, two different things, anime, whatever. Like they didn't quite have it figured out. So Pokedex entries in like Red and Blue will have like weird stuff about like the real world in them. And then obviously that stuff just kind of goes away eventually. But
it's so
there's
funny.
some weird stuff. I mean, even the Marowak Cubone story from Red is like something they haven't done anything like that since then.
Right, and you can tell certain people maybe came up with it, it maybe made it through, but a lot of things didn't make it through. It's funny you said a lot of real world stuff, because I think I saw a map, because people were putting together the map based on all the lore that has came out of the Pokemon world. And there's just like the entire Pokemon world map, and then there's like the island of Guyana somewhere. Even though Guyana's not an island, but it's like Guyana is canon because Mewtwo is from Guyana. So it's like this one real world thing that I guess has to be canon within the game. It's so funny, unless they decide to retcon it, which they probably could have 20 times by now. But no,
Mewtwo being Guyanese is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, it really is.
Definitely. It is. I don't know. They knew where I don't think they thought they were going to get another game after this, but so much as just kind of.
Did you see the Mew 3 leak?
I did see Mew 3, but there are other leakers who are essentially debating it, and it was just like, it's not Mew 3, it's just a new form of Mewtwo.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked to me like fucking one of the did Sword and Shield or X and Y have different Mega Mewtwo's?
No, X and Y had different Mega Mewtwo's. There's Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y.
Yeah, it just looked like another one of those to me.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was just another form. They didn't discover Mew 3. Mew 3 would be crazy after all these years. Let's see. What else do I have here? The other lore that they came up with that made the actual first 4 games seem way more interesting. They established this lore. They actually gave the story, or the beta story, no idea if it's the actual story, about Arceus and how it came to be, and how it gave birth to Palkia and Dialga, and how Palkia and Dialga kind of went crazy, and then Palkia and Dialga gave birth to Mexi, Yuxi, and Azelf, and then Arceus gave those 3 the power to be able to quell their parents in case their parents went crazy. And then because then there was a tree, it's always a fucking tree, a massive life that was sucking the energy out of the Pokemon world. So then Arceus also created Groudon, Rayquaza, and what's the fucking not Empoleon, Kyogre, and created those, and then they have their own separate things where it was this whole, I mean, there's a whole graphic and stuff like that. And it's essentially the origin of the Pokemon universe that they never fucking tell us. Mind you, Pokemon Legends Arceus is a game, and I feel like I don't know any more about Arceus than I did before going in. So it's like, again, all this information, all this lore that's kind of like put out, and then they're like, let's not make it too complicated. We're just trying to sell kids games. You know what I'm saying? Let's not.
Yeah. It's like
let's
almost
not
like
build
they're at
upon
war
this.
with each other over like which thing they're trying to do.
Absolutely. Let's see what else that we have here. Other than weird looking Pokemon, I mean, there's stuff about the movie and stuff like that. Like there's a let's see.
Didn't they say they had another Pokemon movie that they're planning for 2025?
Yeah, so they had apparently there was 3 films. One was Project Bauer, movie 24. It's been in development. Of course, the sirens. That's how you know this episode is rocking.
They came
In
out on
development.
today.
Yeah.
These are late sirens. Oh, Pokemon movie 24 info. Codename Bauer.
Yeah.
Development
Right.
is 2021. Originally planned to release in 2023. A reboot.
Essentially it's supposed to restart the series for people and get them back, get old people back into the game by it just being about the first 151 Pokemon. And it's apparently just been stuck in developmental hell since 2021. So no
The
idea if that
original
movie will come
plot
out.
was dealing with bullying. Bullying was scrapped by executives. Thought it was too much. Like the young protagonist is just like the ideas of putting Pokemon in Pokeballs over the movie. He gets to enjoy being a trainer, discovering it could be a good thing. Only the original 151 Pokemon were planned to be in the movie. So he's an anti-Pokeballer.
Yeah. Well, listen, they like to do stuff like that, but I don't think people care as much as they think people do.
Yeah.
But, I was like, oh, well, fair enough. Why be in a Pokeball if Ash doesn't let his Pikachu in a Pokeball? And we just have accepted that for 25 years. Project
Pikachu
Reload.
got Ash in a Pokeball.
Project Reload, a new original TV anime, 12 episodes, 21 minutes, animated by Studio Colorado, in development since at least 2022. No, I'm fully sure that because of these leaks, probably none of these will actually come out. The Great Detective Pikachu is the sequel to Detective Pikachu.
That is a funny name.
The Great.
In development since 2021, directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts.
Is that the same guy?
I don't think. Let me see. It might be actually Jordan Vogt Roberts. Let's see.
He did Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, he's done.
That's it. He didn't do the first one.
Yeah.
And also the Kong movies got better after he left.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And then, of course, we have Project Discovery, which is a Netflix live action
movie series.
Yeah, 8 episodes for the first season. Up to 5 seasons are being considered. No more details given. Live action Pokemon. It's what we've all assumed it would happen.
Low key, that would have been a layup. Should have been.
Yeah.
A live action Pokemon series would have been an easy layup. I'm wondering why they tackled so many harder things before doing that.
No, for sure.
I bet there's probably too much.
Like One Piece, live action One Piece is way harder than live action Pokemon.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because of and obviously One Piece is different in Japan than it is in America.
Yeah.
I wonder if it just has to do with. I mean, I think it probably just has to do with rendering a bunch of CGI guys.
Essentially, yeah, that's what I figured.
Like they're not going to do it, practical with like puppets or whatever. Obviously, that would be very hard, but it would also look bad, especially like with how CGI has gotten in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah,
fuck it. They could have dressed me up like Machamp. I would have made it work.
Just people dressed up as Pokemon playing them as actors. That would be funny as hell.
It wouldn't be the worst thing.
Let me see. I don't think there's any real big or substantial leaks other than how Pokemon actually looked before they got to the final thing.
Which is always fun to see.
Which, have you guys seen anything that has caught your eye in terms of versions of these Pokemon?
I mean, I said it already. I'm joining the chorus of people who liked the Peanut guy, but or hated him, I guess. I'm sure people hated him as well. But I I mean, I always enjoy seeing the fan art, and not fan art, but I enjoy seeing that stuff the same way I like seeing, like, here's what Super Saiyan 6 looks like.
Right. They had various versions of, and just like random shit that never came out. But then they've had shit like, for instance, Scraggy, which is in Gen 5, which originally was supposed to be in Gen 3, but then they like sat on it for a couple years. So there's a lot of that goes around. There's ugly renders, there's ugly drawings, there's a lot of things that have come out. Since then, Game Freak has acknowledged these leaks and said, yeah, a lot of leaks have happened. It's very, very unfortunate. It includes a lot of the information of a lot of the workers that work at Game Freak, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
and,
also, like, it is unfortunate, but let me tell you, nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody's looking.
Yeah, I have no intention on finding where these people live. I want to know how many versions of Frou Frou they actually were. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm interested for. There's a weird pre-thing of Metatite, which looks... I was like, all right, y'all, nah. I don't know. It just looks like very Aladdin. Which is not good. But since then they have released Shiny Meloetta. I don't know if that was supposed to quell.
I don't know if this drawing of Mega Venusaur. Did you see that one?
I think so. Will you send it? If it's the one I think, then I really thought it was cool.
Yeah, I love how he doesn't look any stronger. He just looks more like just fat and washed up.
Yeah. Was that the one that was with the Blastoise with the single cannon? Yeah.
Single cannon Blastoise looks great. I love that. He looks like a war hero.
This Venusaur just kind of looks like Guru from Namek.
Yeah, essentially. Like, I think that's what they built it off of. But that's hilarious. It's just the bulb is bigger on its back, and that's probably why it can't stand up.
Yeah, he just looks like his back legs don't work.
Whereas Charizard, they really the Charizard, they're like, I don't know about this, bro.
This bald dog that didn't come out is one of the funniest designs ever, probably. Like, that's all you can really say. This smooth hound with the stoner eyes, it looks great.
There's a lot that came out during this leak that's still coming out. There's so much artwork. There's so much things. This is the most substantial leak that I've ever seen for a video game. Whereas artwork, PSD files, you know how crazy that is? The actual Photoshop files for all the logos, for all the things? Like, people are going in and just fucking around with it?
The Peanut's evolution, he came out in some form or another, I feel like. He looks like somebody who came out eventually without the Peanut aspects.
I have no idea.
I'll get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. Please do. I'm surprised there aren't more Pikachu variations in this game that have come out. I was like, actually,
they have to protect him.
We have 40 Pikachus on standby. But no, this has all been great. This has all been substantial. A lot has happened over the last number of days. I'm interested to see what they announce now. They should. It'd be random if there was a Pokemon Presents that was randomly scheduled in the next 2 weeks. But I don't know if that's going to actually happen for the remainder of this year. But, I
wonder if they're just going to ignore
Jesus Christ, that concept art is fucking scary.
Yeah, for sure. No,
I'm deep. I'm back deep towards the beginning now.
But we can hold out for Pokemon Legends Za or Gen 10 or whatever the fuck is announced first. Until then, thank you guys for tuning in. LJ, thank you for coming aboard.
Yeah, I felt.
Thank you for summoning me like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Pat,
back to the Pokeball you go, buddy.
Let's right. Let's hopefully we won't wait 18 months to do this again.
No, I agree.
And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next time on Mount Silver.